What really happens to the body after death? 1. The final breath. When the heart stops beating, time inside the body comes to a halt. In those final seconds, a deep silence spreads through every organ. The blood that once carried life slows to stillness. Oxygen, the essence of existence, vanishes. The brain, starved of air, loses its last spark of awareness. Consciousness fades, and with it, the world itself. At first, the body looks unchanged. The skin still warm, the chest still, but inside, the process of transformation has already begun. Life does not end in a single instant. It dissolves, cell by cell. Within moments, blood pressure drops to zero. Arteries collapse. Cells begin dying. First in the brain, the organ most dependent on oxygen. In less than 5 minutes, brain cells begin to deteriorate. Electrical activity stops. The body no longer receives commands. It is the beginning of complete biological silence. Yet, for a brief time, at the microscopic level, some cellular systems continue to function. Enzymes keep working, chemical reactions flicker, unaware that life has ended. But energy reserves deplete quickly. Without oxygen, mitochondria shut down, and the cell's internal structure begins to collapse.
The skin starts to pale as blood drains away, the first visible mark of death, known as pallor mortis. Muscles relax, eyelids sink, and the body cools slowly. Gravity begins its work. Red blood cells settle in the lowest parts of the body, creating purplish patches called livor mortis. From the outside, nothing appears violent or chaotic. On the contrary, the process is precise, almost mathematical. Death follows a biological choreography written by nature itself, a calm, inevitable unwinding of life's machinery. Within an hour, the body is no longer a living being, but not yet a corpse in the full sense. It exists in between, a fragile equilibrium between order and decay. The silence deepens, energy drains. The transformation has only just begun. 2. The body shuts down. Roughly 2 hours after the heart's final beat, the body begins to stiffen. This stage is called rigor mortis, the stiffness of death. Muscles contract because the molecules that once allowed them to relax, ATP, are gone. Without ATP, the protein filaments inside the muscle fibers lock together. The body becomes rigid, beginning in the jaw, then spreading to the neck, chest, arms, and finally the legs. By 12 hours, this stiffness is at its peak. The once fluid motion of the human form is frozen. But like everything in nature, it does not last. After about a day, the same muscles that hardened begin to soften again, as internal bacteria start digesting the tissues that held them together. Meanwhile, deep inside the organs, another process is underway: autolysis, or self-digestion. Each cell contains enzymes meant to break down nutrients. Now, with no living control, they turn inward. Cells rupture, releasing their acidic contents into the surrounding tissues. The liver and pancreas, rich in these enzymes, are the first to dissolve. Slowly, the body begins to leak. Microscopic membranes rupture, and fluids seep into cavities. Pressure builds inside. The scent of decay, faint at first, begins to form. This is not destruction in the chaotic sense. It is chemistry, unfolding with perfect order. Every molecule is following natural laws that have existed for billions of years. On the surface, the body still resembles its former self, but beneath the skin, the structure of life is collapsing. The transformation has moved from the visible to the invisible, from flesh to chemistry, from person to process. 3. The awakening of bacteria. In the darkness of the intestines, life still thrives. Billions of bacteria that once helped digest food remain active, sealed away in an oxygen-free world. During life, the immune system kept them confined. Now, with no defenses, they begin to spread. They consume the walls of the intestines, then move through blood vessels to the liver, kidneys, and eventually the brain. As they multiply, they release gases, methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. These gases expand inside the body, causing the abdomen to swell. Within 2 or 3 days, the corpse begins to bloat. The skin tightens, bubbles form under the surface. Pressure builds until fluids are forced through pores and openings. The odor, sharp and unmistakable, signals that the process of active decay has begun. To forensic scientists, this scent is not merely unpleasant. It's a marker, a chemical signature that reveals the timeline of death. Each gas, each compound, corresponds to a particular stage in the body's decomposition. But beneath the science lies a deeper pattern, one that connects death to life. The same bacteria that now break down the body are vital to the renewal of the earth. Through their work, carbon returns to the soil, nitrogen to the air, and energy back into the cycle of life. Within a few days, the person who once breathed, spoke, and dreamed has been transformed into a living ecosystem of microscopic activity. Nothing is wasted, nothing disappears. Even in decay, nature remains precise and purposeful. 4. When nature takes over. 3 to 5 days after death, new visitors arrive. Drawn by the scent of decomposition, flies land on the body and lay eggs. Within hours, larvae hatch, tiny, white, restless. They feed on soft tissues, accelerating the breakdown that bacteria began. By the end of the first week, a small but complex ecosystem forms. Maggots, beetles, ants, and spiders each play their role. They consume, compete, and recycle what remains, turning flesh into nutrients for soil and plants. The skin changes color, greenish first, then brown. The skin loosens, splitting under pressure. Bones begin to emerge as muscles and organs collapse into a soft, dark mass. From a human perspective, this stage may seem grotesque, but in nature, it is perfect balance. Death feeds life. Each insect, each microorganism is part of a vast invisible network that keeps the planet alive. Through this natural order, the body becomes something entirely different. Not gone, but reconfigured. Every gram of organic matter is absorbed into the cycle. Proteins into soil, gases into the atmosphere, and minerals into new forms of life. By the 2nd or 3rd week, little of the recognizable body remains. What was once a person is now part of the earth again, in the most literal, physical sense. 5. The return to earth. After months, all soft tissues vanish. What remains are bones, dry, silent, and enduring. Calcium and phosphate keep their shape, but time continues its quiet work. Years later, even these bones begin to break down, reduced to powder, returning their minerals to the soil. This is not destruction, it is renewal. The carbon once held in the body's cells becomes the breath of plants. The nitrogen enriches the ground, feeding roots that will one day sustain new life. The iron that once ran in the blood returns to the rock, to the core of the planet itself. Every atom finds its place again in the endless cycle of transformation. Death, in this sense, is not an end. It is a redistribution of matter, a continuation in another form. From dust to life, from life to dust, the pattern repeats without error. Your body, your energy, your elements, all return to where they began, to the earth, to the stars. In this silent exchange between life and death, nothing truly disappears. The universe takes back what it lent and gives it again in new shapes, new forms, new beginnings. Life, it seems, never really ends. It only changes form.